Okay, what's up BMX nerds? Today we're going to take a look at the Kink Whip XL. The Kink Whip and the Kink Whip XL are very similar, but there are a few small changes to the Whip XL that the Kink Whip doesn't have. So we're going to talk about that in this video. If you're looking at buying the Kink Whip because you're a smaller rider, you're going to want to watch that video because they are slightly different, like I said. So let's get right into it. Now the Kink Whip XL is a 21-inch full chromoly BMX bike. It comes with double wall rims and very few aftermarket parts. Sadly, it doesn't come with any pegs or any hub guards. The 2023 model increased in price by about $50, making me upset and my Dougsterbob app a little bit upset. It honestly has screwed up a lot of things. But that's okay, we'll talk about everything that you need to know about the Kink Whip XL in this video, and stay till the end because I'll give you the honest truth on whether or not this bike is worth your money. Should you spend your hard-earned money on this bike? That's what we're gonna find out, so let's go. Everyone has 5 common questions about the Kink Whip XL, and those common questions are: how much does it weigh? The Kink Whip XL is going to weigh 27.9 pounds. How much does it cost? Well, it's going to cost you $550. Can I upgrade it? What if I want to change out the handlebars or the pedals or the forks? Everything on this bike is fully customizable and fully upgradable. What about pegs? How do I grind? You're going to have to buy the pegs separately because the Kink Whip XL doesn't come with any pegs or any hub guards. How about stopping this bike? Well, it does come with a standard set of Mission U brakes. It has holes drilled for a gyro, so if you want to throw a gyro on there, it's totally possible, but it doesn't come with a gyro, it just comes with standard brakes. So let's talk about the sizing of this bike and the color options that it comes in. The Kink Whip XL is designed for taller riders, hence the name. It comes in a 21-inch top tube in Matte Sedona Red. So finding the right bike is confusing, and a lot of you guys don't know this, but I do free bike recommendations for my subscribers. If you're looking for a bike, there's 90 different options. I'll help you find the perfect 3 bikes, and then you can just choose from there. All you need to do is click the link on the screen or in the description and request a free bike information. I'll look at that information, I'll get you one back within about 24 hours, so be patient. Let's talk about the sizing of this bike and determine if this bike is the right size for you. Like I mentioned earlier, it has a 21-inch top tube. This 21-inch top tube is best for riders who are over 6 foot. If you're abnormally tall, like 6'7", I don't know, if you're just really tall, you might want to look at a bigger frame, like the Sabrosa Tyro XXL's 21.33, the Sunday Dark Wave is a 21.25, and the Fit Trail XXL is a 21.25. Those are really the only 3 options that are available over 21. And I'm 6'4", I ride 21.25, but I've been on a 21 for a while. So I mean, it's after you get about like 6'3", it's kind of at your own discretion. For anyone over 6 foot, I'd say this is a good thing for you, but if you get too much taller, then you got to find something different. But for the most part, you're going to be fine. But if you're abnormally tall, just know you might want to look at something else. Join the Discord, ask that question in the Discord, and I'll help you figure out which size is right if you're way taller. So on the frame, there are 4 other geometries that are going to affect how the bike feels and how the bike handles. Some bikes are snappy, some bikes are mellow. The Kink Whip XL has a 75-degree head tube angle, a 9-inch standover height, a 13.25-inch chainstay, and an 11.6-inch bottom bracket. Overall, these sizes are pretty normal. They're the exact same as most of Kink's lineup. The only thing here is the chainstay is technically a little bit longer than average. I say 13 is right in the middle of the 2 extremes that we see on complete bikes. So 13.25 is a little bit longer. And this is just going to give the bike a more stable feeling on the back end. Manuals aren't going to be as snappy to get into. They're going to be easier to control, but you're going to have to put more effort into getting into those manuals. The other geometries on the parts also have an effect on how the bike handles and how the bike feels. Some parts make the bike feel more mellow, some parts make the bike feel more snappy and responsive. The Kink Whip XL has forks that have 32 millimeters of offset. The handlebars are 9.25 inches tall. This is a 1/4 of an inch taller than the normal Kink Whip, and we don't know how wide they are. I'm gonna guess they're about 30 inches, but we don't know for sure. The stem on the Kink Whip XL has a 32 millimeter rise. It's a top load stem, and it has 50 millimeters of reach. The sprocket is a 25-tooth sprocket. The driver is a 9-tooth driver, making this bike 25/9. This is very standard for all complete bikes. Everything's gonna be on the right-hand side, making this bike right-hand drive, and it has a cassette instead of a free coaster. Okay, so the quality of this bike determines how long the bike is gonna last. It's best to get the highest quality bike that you can afford. The frame on the Kink Whip XL is a full chromoly frame, meaning all the tubing that make up the frame is full chromoly. This is much better than high tensile steel. It's about 4 times stronger, and it's the way to go. If you can afford chromoly, go with chromoly. The forks are also full chromoly. Unlike the Kink Gap, which has 50% chromoly forks, the Kink Whip has forks that are full chromoly. They're gonna last a lot longer, and you're not gonna have too many issues. The handlebars are full chromoly 2-piece handlebars on the Kink Whip XL. The Kink Whip XL has full chromoly 3-piece 8-spline cranks. The Kink Whip XL has Mission Mylar double wall rims. These are pinned rims which aren't quite as strong as welded rims, but they're still very strong compared to single wall rims, and they're the best thing that you should get if you're a heavier rider. Okay, let's look at the highlights and the lowlights of the Kink Whip XL's part package. Some of the highlights are the Kink Bold HRD aftermarket stem, the Kink Hemlock pedals, and the fact that it has fully sealed bearings. Some of the lowlights are the weak 410 chain, the heavy Kink Sever tires, and the fact that it has no pegs and no hub guards. Now let's talk about how the Kink Whip XL scored in quality compared to other bikes and discuss the weight limit for this bike, if any. This information is from the Dougsterbob app, which is available for free on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. If you're comparing bikes, if you're looking at a bike, this is a must-have tool to make your life a lot easier. The Kink Whip XL scored a 6.9 in quality. This is going to give it a weight limit of around 200 pounds. Now I say around 200 pounds because this is something I've gone back and forth on. If you're a heavier rider, around 250 and up, you really are going to have some issues with bending the sprocket, bending the pedals, things like that. And what I want to tell people, what I tell people when I recommend this bike and they're like, hey, I'm 250 pounds, like, is that still good? I'm like, look, it's fine for the most part. The main components are full chromoly, that's solid. But if you can afford an aftermarket quality bike like the Sunday Soundwave, the Wheel That People Envy, something of that caliber, you're gonna enjoy it a lot more. It's gonna make your life a lot easier. Now, if you're under 200 pounds, you're fine. The quality on this bike is solid, it's fine. But like I said, if you're a little bit heavier, some of the parts on the bike aren't gonna last as long, and you should just expect that if you do buy this bike. Now, certain bikes are better for certain types of riding. Let's take a look at the Kink Whip XL and figure out what style of riding this bike is designed for. Remember, it's possible to make upgrades and change the parts however you want. The Kink Whip XL scored a 3.78 in street, a 4.36 in park, and a 7.18 in dirt. Making this bike best for dirt riding. Although you can ride street and park on it, it's best designed for riding dirt. If you were to buy this bike, or if you already have the bike, these are the top 3 upgrades that everyone should make on their Kink Whip XL. First, you're gonna wanna replace the heavy Kink Sever tires with some lighter tires that have better grip. Next, I'd replace the heavy 48 spline cranks with cranks that are gonna be a lot stronger and a lot lighter. And finally, add some pegs and add some hub guards. It's crazy to me that it doesn't come with pegs and hub guards, but this is a must for anyone riding street. Okay, so the Kink Whip XL, just like the Kink Whip, I think used to be a very high value bike. It used to be best bang for your buck. If you have 500 bucks, boom, you can buy this bike and it's a great deal. Now, I'm not saying that it's a bad deal right now, but what I'm saying is that now, because of the higher price tag and the same quality score, there are more bikes that are similar price with similar quality. Last year, it was pretty much a no-brainer that the Kink Whip was the best value bike. This year, we're gonna have to wait and see how some of the other brands price their bikes when they come out. But right now it's looking like the Kink Whip is still a good value bike, but now there are other options for you. And some of those options are the Cult Control, the Cult Devotion, the Collective CS Pro, the Sunday X. They're more similar price to the Kink Whip now, and they're similar quality. I'll send you the 3 bikes that are best for you in the recommendation. If you do that, I don't know if the Kink Whip XL will be on there or not.